Alright, welcome back to the Valor Knight. We're going to continue our journey through Middle-earth in the Lord of the Rings the card game with the second quest in the core set, which is Journey Along the Anduin. I think there's a journey up the Anduin later. But emerging from Mirkwood Forest with an urgent message for Lady Galadriel, you must now make your way south along the Anduin River in order to reach the Forest of Lorien. As you leave the forest behind, you notice that you are being pursued, and thus quicken your pace. Each player reveals one card from the top of the encounter deck and adds it to the staging area. So, I'm going to give the counter deck a quick shuffle. The card is each location in the staging area gets +1 until the end of the phase. Then each player with a threat of 35 or higher chooses and discards a card from his hand, Treacherous Fog. Obviously that does nothing, so that's great. So the opening card whiffs, and we can move on. As you approach the location of a small raft stashed on the riverbank, a fearsome hill troll emerges from behind a grouping of rocks and attacks. When revealed, search the encounter deck for one hill troll if one is not already in play, and place it in the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck. Players cannot defeat this stage while any hill troll cards are in play. So we're going to search here, and hill troll. Found it. Pretty tough enemy. Hill troll 1639. Excess combat damage dealt by the hill troll, damage that is beyond the remaining hit points of the character damaged by its attack, must be assigned as an increase to your threat. Starting threat of 30 means if you pick a certain deck, you might have to deal with hill troll turn 1. But I have picked a deck that won't have to deal with this hill troll, hopefully, for like 15 turns. And that is because we are playing a Grey Wanderer deck. So the Grey Wanderer is a contract that you get later in the game, but I think it's going to be interesting to try out here how overpowered it can be. You cannot choose more than one starting hero. Search your deck for an attachment with a printed cost of 1 and put it into play, then flip this card over. Side B says the first non-unique card you play each planning phase doesn't require a resource match. Exhaust this card and raise your threat by 1 to choose 2. Ready your starting hero, add 2 resources to your hero's resource pool, or heal 3 damage from your starting hero. And which hero have I picked? Well, I have picked Hurluin the Fair. I said in the last video I'm a fan of Outlands. This is a deck that I might use if I ever get stuck on a particularly tough quest, because I think this deck is incredibly overpowered. But 1/1/1/4. Outlands ranged. You may use resources from Hurluin the Fair's resource pool to pay for Outlands ally cards of any sphere. And the attachment that I picked is the Lord of Morthond, attached to a Gondor or Outlands hero. If each hero you control has the printed leadership resource icon, Lord of Morthond gains response. After you play a lore, spirit, or tactics ally, draw a card. Which might be unusual if you know how Grey Wanderer decks work. Most people pick Strider or something like that, which means they don't have to exhaust a quest. But I've gone Lord of Morthond for this deck. And I got this idea. I think I've edited the deck slightly, but I got the idea, and I'll post the original deck in the description. So let's get our starting hand. I'm looking for Aether Swordsman. Ooh. Okay. I've got some options here. So Timely Aid, Secrecy 3. So Secrecy means if you're below 20 threat, you drop the cost by however much the number is. So Secrecy 3 means since I'm below 20 threat, this card costs 3 less to pay, so only 1. Reveal the top 5 cards of your deck and put into play an ally if able. Shuffle all the other revealed cards back into your deck. That's probably what I'm going to go with. I like having sneak attacks and sneak attack Gandalf. I'm not worried about upping my threat too much at the beginning. There's not a lot of enemies that can engage me early. So we'll go with this, and the 7th card I draw is Resourceful, which is a great card. Secrecy 3 as well. Attached to a hero. Attached hero collects 1 additional resource during the resource phase. Well, we're going to get an ally in. So, Timely Aid, flip this over. I'm going to search this way, top 5 cards, and I get to add 1. Ooh, a little unfortunate in what we got, because Anfelast Herdsman would be great to get some extra healing, but he's not questing for anything. Hunter of Lamadon would help me quest for a little bit, so I think we're going to go with him. We'll shuffle these. I was hoping to get Gandalf. Gandalf early would have been awesome. I could have drawn my threat by time. For questing, we're only going to send 2. So I'm definitely probably raising my threat 2-1. And unless we get the other hill troll, which I don't remember if I shuffled after I drew the hill troll, so we'll make sure we shuffle. And when revealed, deal 1 damage to each character controlled by each player with threat of 35 or higher. I'm not even close to that. So we actually make a progress on turn 1. Was not expecting to do that. I am going to go ahead and burn this, raise my threat, ready myself, give myself 2 resources. Then we move into round 2. Up my threat again, ready everything, give myself an additional resource. And draw a card. And we get Host of Galadrim. Planning action, return each Sylvan ally you control from your hand, then play each one of those allies from your hand one at a time at no cost, which is actually awesome because Sylvan allies have some really cool effects. One of which I'm going to use now. First, we're going to play, using the fact that, the first non-unique card I play doesn't require a resource match, we're going to play Galadrim Weaver. She can't attack or defend, but after she enters play, we shuffle the top card of your discard pile into your deck. So here's where this Outlands Grey Wanderer deck works so well. When I play her, we do her effect, I shuffle that, but then after I play an ally, she's a spirit ally, from my hand, I draw a card. So after shuffling, I get to draw another card, potentially the card that I just discarded, and we get Galadrim Minstrel. Minstrel. Next, I'm going to get Resourcefulness, get a little bit of resource boosting, and then since I can still pay for Outlands characters of any type, I can get Anfelast Herdsman, who's also going to draw me a card, and there's that Timely Aid again. We're not going to quest for much more, we're going to quest for 3, but now we have an additional hit point. Each Outlands character you control gets +1 hit point, so if I get that nasty Necromancer's Reach card, it's not going to do so much. So 3 this time. Shadow card is, oh my goodness, Evil Storm again. I make 2 progress. Really could not be luckier right now. I don't know how even shuffling all those times I got that same card twice. Oops. I want to go back, so everything's exhausted. I'm going to up my threat and exhaust this, give myself 2 resources. Now we're ready. Increase my threat an additional point, another 2 resources. 1 from that, and then attached here collects an additional resource during the resource phase each round. So this is where things start to spiral. Alright, what do I want to play? First, I'm going to play this character. The Minstrel says, after she enters play, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an event, add it to your hand, shuffle the other cards back into your deck. So we'll check here. We're looking for Sneak Attack or Feigned Voices. Feigned Voices is great. Return a Sylvan ally you control to your hand to choose an enemy. That enemy can't attack. We're going to definitely use this on the troll. I have both of these, but keeping enemies from attacking is always great. So we'll do that. And then, again, I can activate Lord of Morthon and draw an additional card. Looking for an Aether Swordsman. Don't get it. Got Steward. Steward's great, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Spin 2, play Steward. Attach here gains the Gondor trait, and exhaust Steward to add 2 resources to the resource pool. I'm going to do that. And then I think I'm going to play Timely Aid again. So we'll pop Timely Aid out. Looking top 5 cards for an ally. That's really unfortunate. I have significantly more powerful allies. But her response will still trigger. So we'll shuffle up, shuffle the other reveal cards back in, and then draw a 5 looking for her Sneak Attack. So I got both my Feigned Voices and my Sneak Attack. Pretty great there. Though definitely not what I wanted to draw there. I was hoping for any stronger ally, one of my Aether Swordsmen. But we can quest for a little bit more now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully don't get Necromancer's Reach, or else they all die. So thinking about that, I'm going to keep one of these back, so I can feign Voices still. So 4 against 1. Our 1 card is, oh my goodness, another treachery that doesn't affect me. Each location in the staging area gets +1 till the end of the phase. Then each player with threat 35 or higher chooses and discards a card. So that is literally all I've gotten are these treacheries, and they've done nothing. Now I'm just going to check real fast. The other cards are in the deck. I'm going to shuffle it after this, by the way. The other cards are in. I just felt like I know I'm technically not supposed to just check the encounter deck and shuffle it whenever I want, but just to prove that it has been thoroughly shuffled. Uh, I don't know how in the world the first 4 cards I draw are all treacheries that don't affect me. And I already did. Did I already put the progress on? I think I did. Doesn't matter, even if I didn't. Alright, I'm not going to tap this to up my threat. I am going to just move into the next round. I'm already going to get 2 resources, tap Steward, 2 more, so I'm getting 4 a turn, which is kind of awesome. We are going to use the Weaver again for the same ability. Timely Aid gets shuffled, and we draw a card. Okay. I could really start using some of my other Outlands characters at this point. That would be nice. So we're going to go ahead and spend 3 to get 4 long. While you control Outlands allies that belong to 4 different spheres, ready 4 long at the beginning of each phase, which is pretty awesome. He'll come out. Right now I only have Outlands characters of 1 sphere, and I'm wondering where my others are. I'm looking for some card draw here. Not getting much. Anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll send 4 just in case an enemy comes up. So 4 again, 4 to 1. The counter card is, yes, finally something interesting. Eastern Crows, my least favorite card in this encounter set because it surges, and after it's defeated you shuffle it back in, so it's like constant surge. Surges into, there it is, Necromancer's Reach. Deal damage to each exhausted character. So New is coming eventually. That's going to kill both of my Weavers and pop a damage onto the Hunter of Lebanon and onto Hurluin. We're still going to make 2 progress though, which means we're at the progress we need to make. But we have to kill the Hill Troll, which is a little bit more of a difficult task. And we're not ready at all to handle that. I could handle the Eastern Crows, but here's the thing. If I kill them, they just go back into the encounter deck and they can surge again. So until I hit that same 30 threshold, there's no reason not to just leave them. We are going to pop Grey Wanderer here, up my threat, use it to heal, and give myself the 2 resources. And then we will refresh and go into turn 5. This is a slow build deck, but once it gets going, it really cannot be stopped. For the card draw purposes, we're going to use our Weaver again, and that's going to basically revive one of them. I might draw it. Oh, thank goodness I did not. We're going to use Anfelas Herdsman, and this allows me to do this at any point. After I play this at any point, so I can keep doing this. So Anfelas Herdsman comes in for another 1, draw another card, and then we will go ahead and get the Defender, the Warrior. And we're starting to stack up a little bit better now. So 1, 2, 3, 4... That'll be, I don't want to raise my, I can raise my threat. We'll send 4, 4 to 2. The counter card is remove 4 progress tokens from the current quest. Alright. Awesome. And we'll just put 2 right back. Boom. So really, that turn did nothing. Back to where we started. And we'll move on. 2 resources, pop Steward. And we are rolling. I have the Hunter, but I think I'm going to play the... No, I think I'm going to save her in case I get another Necromancer's Reach and I wipe out my Sylvans. We'll start with the Hunter of Lebanon. So how does it work in the order? I think I'm going to do his response first. So after you play it, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's Outlands, add it to your hand, otherwise discard it. It is Outlands, so I add it to my hand. Then, Lord of Morthon comes in for playing a lore ally, and I can play an additional ally. Alright, this is the perfect ally to get the Knights of the Swan. So, I'm going to play it. Gives all my Outlands characters +1 attack. Draw another card. It's a Timely Aid. Why not? Why not? Timely Aid. Let's see what ally we get. Can we get Gandalf? Ooh. Finally got my Aether Swordsman. That is perfect. Now we're going to be questing for a ton. I wonder what my damage output right now is. With this +1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Which is pretty close to what I need. 13, that's actually more than what I need, so I could go ahead and engage the Hill Troll this turn. It's a thought. Either this turn or next turn, I might do it this turn. We'll see what we get in the encounter deck. We're going to send 1, 2, 3, 4. And he gets 4 now because of Aether Swordsman giving him +1. So we're sending 4, 4 to 2. The card we get is, oh, the Brownlands. Hate this card. It just adds a ton of threat. So 4 to 2 becomes 4 to 7. I have to raise my threat by 3. So almost took me out of secrecy there. After you travel it, you place progress on it. So we'll travel to it, place progress on it. Bye-bye. That being said, I think we're going to go ahead and optionally engage the Hill Troll. So the Hill Troll will come down. It'll get its shadow card, and this is where this deck is absolutely broken. We have this massive enemy that is storming around, but we are just going to confuse it. I'm going to play Faint Voices. Return a Sylvan ally you control to your hand to choose an enemy, engage with the player. That enemy can't attack that player this phase. It's free, too. So play for free. We're pulling the Weaver back, which, by the way, means next turn I'm going to start by playing her to shuffle this back into my deck. And he can't attack me. I'm going to go ahead and exhaust Grave Wanderer. We'll go out of secrecy. Ready myself, give myself 2 resources. I'm attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 minus 3 is 12, which is more than 9. And we kill the Hill Troll, and it didn't even attack. The shadow card was the East Bite, so not a big deal. Hill Troll is dead and goes up into the victory display. So I bet those birds are wondering where the Hill Troll went, but he is gone, and that is the power of this Outland stack. We'll go ahead and refresh, move on to the next round. Got another Hunter of Lamedon, but before I do that, like I said, we're going to play the Weaver. Shuffle, draw, and we got another one. Perfect. Going to play our last Hunter of Lamedon. Is this an Outlands card? Yes, it goes in my hand. This one doesn't matter. It's Gandalf. Perfect. Everything is coming together right now. And Furlong will now ready at the beginning of each phase, because we have the tactics, leadership, spirit, and lore. I need to remember that. But we'll go ahead and for funsies play our other warrior. And now you can see the kind of power that this deck has. It doesn't work for everything like Dol Guldur, which is the next quest. It doesn't allow you to play more than one ally a turn, which would make this deck completely useless. Unless you could really slowball it, but then you're just constantly adding things into the staging area, and you're not going to be questing for anything. So it'd be interesting to try, but I don't think it would work. For questing this time, though, don't want to send a ton because I don't know what enemies are going to come up against. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I will send 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 should be plenty against only 1. Card is each player raises threat by 1 for each character that is not currently committed to the quest. Now that kind of stinks. So I did not send tons. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That stinks. So my secrecy just completely went away. I completely forgot about Pursued by Shadow. Terrible card. But I'm kind of now prepped for the enemies, so I'm not super worried. That being said, we did more than enough to clear to the river. So we've killed the troll. We got to the boat, somehow transporting like 20 people. And after defeating the troll, you're able to board the raft. It must be a gigantic raft to get all my allies across. You can embark upon a river voyage. As you depart, the enemies pursue, harassing the small vessel as you attempt to navigate the river. As your enemies harass the raft, it is difficult to maintain balance and effectively fight them off. Reveal an additional card from the encounter deck each quest phase. Do not make engagement checks, but I can still optionally engage an enemy. We're going to leave, the crows are actually going to come down, which kind of stinks. I did not want to have more surge in the deck, but I made a bad choice, and this is what we get. They're attacking for 1. I'll defend Furlong will ready because we're now in the combat phase. We'll defend with one of the warriors. He's defending for 1, and then he gets +1 from himself, so that's 2, and he gets +1 from his friend, so that's 3. Shadow is nothing. Oh, and a great card to get rid of, the Beastmaster. So nothing happens there, no damage, and Furlong attacks for 2. Say goodbye. Oh, so you got to be careful. He gets shuffled back in, but the Beastmaster goes away, so that's nice. And we'll refresh and go into the next round, round number 8. A little bit of a slower start to this quest, but it pays off big time. Timely Aid isn't as good for me now because it's expensive. I don't want a Gandalf yet. So we will play the Minstrel for the card draw. Look at the top 5. We're looking for Timely Aid. And I just realized I can sneak attack Gandalf for the card draw. card I get from her is a Galadon Archer. 0201 ranged. After they interplay, they deal damage to an enemy that's not engaged with you. But I am going to play my first sneak attack to sneak attack Gandalf, and I'm sneak attacking him. Drop my threat by 5, draw 3 cards. I'm tempted to draw 3 cards because I don't want another Ether Swordsman, so that's what we're going to do this turn. Didn't get it, so he comes actually back to my hand because it's the end of the planning phase, or at the end of the planning phase, which I haven't decided about yet. I think we're going to play Dark Knowledge, so Doom 2 to draw 2. Still did not get another Ether Swordsman. Alright, well, one more chance. The Herdsman did not get it. We'll go ahead and play the Last Warrior, so we'll be super duper defended. The end of the planning, Gandalf comes back to my hand from sneak attack. Could technically sneak attack him again, but I'm going to save him. So for questing, I'm going to basically send a good chunk of people on the quest, but not to exhaust anyone that's going to get killed with, not going to exhaust any of these who will get killed if it's Necromancer's Reach. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're going to send 16, which would be enough to get through. So we should do this in 2 turns. Card number 1 is, there it is, deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. I knew it was coming. Thankfully, every one of my Outlands is getting an additional 3 hit points from their Herdsmen, which is why I'm not sending them on the quest, because I do not want to lose them. They become the backbone of this army. And this is just a lot of damage to dish out, but it is what it is. And now we have to reveal an additional card. If it's Necromancer's Reach, we're still going to be okay. It is not. Dol Guldur, Beastmaster. When he attacks, deal it an additional shadow card. Alright, and so that's 2, so we make 14 progress. Almost cleared it in 1 turn. And I'm going to optionally engage him. I'd rather get rid of him than have them stick around. And he's going to attack, so I'm going to defend, so he's going to get an additional shadow card. So still defending for 3 though, and he's only attacking for 3. First shadow card is nothing, Enchanted Stream. Second is also nothing, but it's that Marsh Adder. Get it out of here. No damage. I would have liked to see it though, because I like up in the victory display, and this Marsh Adder just looks so cool. 3, 4, 1, 7. Each time it attacks you, you raise your threat by 1. Which, if it engages you normally when you have 40 engagement cost, that can be really, really tough. I need to be able to do 6 damage. Forlong is refreshing the combat phase. He's doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's exactly what we needed. So that was close. Did not count that out well. But we will move on to the next round. So everybody gets refreshed. Turn number 9. We'll draw our card. It is another Gandalf. I think we're definitely going to win this turn. So I'm tempted to Gandalf in, which I think would be nice. I could give myself a little bit more damage if I want to play the Archer. I couldn't use the response. And I only have 5, so we're going to, or I only have 6, so we're going to spend 5 of them entering Gandalf. I'm going to use them to draw my threat by 5. Now we're going to quest, this time for not so many. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably don't even need to do that. We probably send 8. It'd be okay, just need to make 2 progress. So here we go. 8. Card number 1, Gladden Fields. Once the active location, each player must raise his threat by an additional point. And card number 2, each player raises his threat by each character he controls that is not currently committed to the quest pursued by Shadow. Wow. Okay, that's going to be a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that shoots me up to 44 threat, which could not be worse. But we didn't get an enemy, which is crazy. So we make plenty of progress there to clear it. And somehow I about with a 8 starting threat. This is where this deck is dangerous, right? I started at 8 threat, and yet I'm at 44 as we go into the last stage of the quest. The ongoing harassment from your enemies has forced your raft to the shore, and you must now confront their ambush head-on. If you survive this attack, the path to the Golden Wood should be open before you. Reveal 2 encounter cards per player and add them to the staging area. Skip the staging quest, step at the quest phase for the rest of the game, and once there are no enemies in play, the players have won. So this is literally just, do we get enemies? Though we still are revealing these cards. Dol Guldur Orcs, when revealed, first player deals 2 damage to a character committed to the quest. Alright, goodbye, Hunter of Lamadon. Oh, don't take your friend's damage. But, say bye to him. And we got an enchanted stream. So this is where playing solo, if you play with multiple people and each person is revealing 2 encounter cards per player, if you're playing a 4-player game, that's 8 cards. That's insane. You really can't get lucky. You're just going to get a ton of enemies. When you're playing solo, though, as you've seen, we got a ton of treacheries in this run around, and we only have a few enemies who are even in the discard pile. We really worked through this quest pretty easily, which is great, because this quest could be a lot harder, and it proves that even on standard mode, this quest is not too bad if you bring a really good deck. So, Dol Guldur Orcs come down. Really, this is just a formality, because obviously look at the amount of damage I can do. Gandalf will defend for funsies. Choose and discard an attachment from the defending character. That's the defending character, not the defending player. Gandalf doesn't have any attachments. Now, if you took this attack undefended, if this attack is undefended, discard all the attachments you control. That would really suck. But nothing happens to Gandalf. He's defending for 4. He's just the GOAT. Let's just see for funsies how much damage I can actually put out with the characters I have. We'll go ahead and up my threat, make it 45. Ready myself. We'll heal, so Hurluin is up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points of damage all onto these little tiny orcs. We were so nervous about what was going to ambush us, and it was just these Dol Guldur orcs, and they're dead now. And so in 9 turns, we defeated Journey along the Anduin, not down the Anduin or up the Anduin, Journey along the Anduin, the third quest, or the second quest in the core cycle, with the Hurluin the Fair Outlands Grey Wanderer deck. So definitely recommend this, and this is one I will use again. As you can see, it's incredibly broken. I have my own army at this point, but it's a great quest. This is a great quest to use this kind of deck on. I haven't decided how I'm going to go about the next one, but the next quest is the most dreaded quest in the history of this game, the Escape from Dol Guldur.